Welcome to the latest edition of the SNews here at LonghornStation.com. Ahmad Brooks, John Medani. We, along with Ellie Price, comprise your wake-up call, and David Anderson, of course, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 here in the Longhorn Station, AM 1300 The Zone. And Lane Kiffin took the world by storm. He kind of seized the headlines coast to coast when he agreed to leave Rocky Top after one season as head coach of the University of Tennessee to take the vacant position as head coach for his dream job, University of Southern Cal. Lots of layers here. We got an onion to peel. What are your initial thoughts on this one?
Well, first off, the onion is Lane Kiffin. The guy stinks. He reeks. It's well documented. The guy has lied numerous times. You had Al Davis speaking out against this guy, saying that it was a bunch of propaganda and some of the things that he promised that organization he didn't come through with. And now you see a man who goes to Tennessee, which is a very credible program, and you hear John and I on the show talk about it all the time. Maybe it's not a top 5 destination job, but it's a top 15, top 20 job, you could argue, particularly being in the SEC. And once again, you see Lane Kiffin. He's there for less than a year, and the guy leaves them. And here's my thing. Every recruit, and I've been in a position to be recruited by several credible universities, from Michigan, Florida, to Florida State, to Texas, to A&M, you name it. More than likely, I was on their list at one point, and I've had encounters with a lot of these universities. Young men, not only do they pick schools, John, but they also look at the coaches that are there. I wasn't going to come to Texas if Makovic would have been here. When Mack Brown came in, this school went from 5 on my list to number 1, and now I'm a lifetime Longhorn. It's about the people that sit behind that desk as the head coach. Lane Kiffin probably told those kids that he was there for the long haul when he recruited him. What about the fan base? What about those student athletes? And how could the NCAA allow this to happen? Once again, this guy has, in my opinion, bent some people over and left again. It's not fair. It's not right. I'm not happy about it, obviously. And I think the NCAA needs to come in, and they need to have some guidelines and restrictions on these coaches to prevent these student athletes from feeling the way that many of these young men right now feel at Tennessee.
Well, I worked for 2 years in Memphis, and there was more Tennessee orange walking the streets down Beale Street than there was Memphis blue. There's a lot of Vols fans everywhere. Like Arkansas, it's a one-school state. They can say what they want at Memphis or Tennessee Tech or any of the Vanderbilt. Tennessee runs that state. There's more orange in that state than anything else. And Neyland Stadium has 100,000 strong on a game day Saturday. What's interesting are some of the other things. It's interesting that Lane Kiffin says this is his dream job, yet reportedly 3 guys had to turn down the job before they offered it to him. Secondarily, this guy racked up NCAA secondary violations at a record pace in one season.
True.
And he's going to a program now that reportedly the NCAA is knocking on the door ready to slam them for some other things regarding O.J. Mayo and Reggie Bush. Man, I'm not sure that, Mike Garrett might have to be very careful about this. The NCAA may be on line too saying, you sure that's the guy that you want to bring in here while we are preparing our report to serve you and Pete Carroll got out of town? I think this could get really, really interesting. But on the front end, of course, for Texas fans, Will Muschamp, reportedly the top of the list, the top of the wish list for Vols Nation. But as Ahmad pointed out throughout the show this morning, he turned down the job last year. What's changed? He's just further entrenched now with his recruits coming in, et cetera. He appears to be very happy. There's no reason for him at this late date, this close to signing day, to try to cobble together some sort of a staff and then start your own program there in the SEC. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, but one thing that will be on our radar for sure: who will be the next head coach at Tennessee? Because I do think it's a top 15 job. You'll have to tune in tomorrow. Join us tomorrow. We'll break down the AFC playoff games on Thursday. Cedric Benson, Lyle Sendline among our guests. Then on Friday, we turn our eyes to the NFC. We'll break those down along with former Cowboy linebacker Robert Jones. Check out tomorrow. This is the SNews at LonghornStation.com.